Good evening and welcome to the Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022.
I did this one.
Committee of the Finance Committee of the Fitchburg City Council. With us this evening, committee members present, Councilors Cruz, Zarella, DiNatale, Boschman, and Van Hazinga. Please be advised that FATV is conducting an audio and video recording of this meeting for public broadcast. I ask that anyone in the audience who is recording this meeting to please identify themselves for the record now by standing and stating their name and address. Seeing none. At this time, I ask that all electronic devices be placed into silent mode. If the public has been advised to contact the city clerk's office regarding any comments of no more than 2 minutes. There is no one on Zoom that has a statement to make. I invite anyone in the audience who wishes to speak to please approach the podium, identify yourself by name and address, and identify the agenda item on which you would like to speak, and then you may speak on it for no more than 2 minutes. Seeing no one in the audience wishing to speak, we will now move on to our agenda. 19422 is an order that we already took on council yesterday through suspension, so we will skip that. 19522, in order that the City of Fitchburg approves the expenditure of funds in the Mass Executive Office of Public Safety and Security Highway Safety Division grant in the approximate amount of $2,810.60 for the purpose of said grant, which is to purchase and install federally approved child passenger safety seats. Chief Martineau.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. While this is not our largest grants that we apply for and receive from state and federal funding, but I have to say this is one of my favorite grants that we apply for, being $2,800. This is something we've been doing for several years now. We take this money and we buy child safety restraints, seats for vehicles, and we distribute them throughout the year to those that request them and need them. You know, it's nothing better than giving someone, and these are the top quality seats that we're purchasing. And there's nothing better than to give someone a seat that really needs it and appreciates it. And we have our police officers install it for them and show them how to operate the seat. Like I said, it's not a big grant, but boy, this $2,800 is well spent in our community. This $2,800 will purchase 24 car seats. Those 24 car seats will be distributed through this fiscal year. Prior to the pandemic, we were handing out 39 car seats each year. So slowly we're coming out of the pandemic, and this year with 24 car seats. With your approval, we look forward to getting those car seats out to the public, the people of our city. Be happy to answer any questions as it relates to the car seat grant.
Councilor Boschman.
Yeah, Chief, do you go up to Leominster Hospital, Health Alliance, newborn babies, people of Fitchburg, and give them a car seat?
No, I can't recall us ever doing that with that organization. We try to keep it specific to local events here. We always look forward to going up to Park Hill. I know that's near and dear to you, to collaborate with the fine folks of the Clegon section. But we try to keep it within the city at specific events throughout the city. And they can always reach out to Lieutenant Howe, and you know, we're here to help out, and we're going to have the car seats to do just that.
All right. I like the fact that you say Clegon.
I did that for a reason, Councilor.
Councilor Zarella.
Thank you. I'd just like to say I get what you're saying, Councilor, about the hospital. I almost was unable to take my daughter home because we didn't have an approved car seat, but we managed to get one. We thought we had it and we didn't. Anyway. Point is, I get what you're saying, but it would be very difficult, I feel, to have the police department go to Leominster Hospital and then ask people, are you a Fitchburg resident? Sure, we'll give you a car seat. Are you not a Fitchburg resident? Oh, tough luck. You know, it's not a job I would enjoy assigning to them, and not a good look in general.
It's a great thought. We're talking different jurisdictional lines. You know, how would the Leominster Police Department feel if we're intruding on their hospital? There's a lot of things that go into it. I can tell you without a doubt that these car seats will go to those in need in our community and who they're going to best serve.
And it is an excellent program. There's nothing, well, there are some things maybe, but there are very few things that are as important to new parents as peace of mind. And knowing that not only you have a top-of-the-line car seat, but that it's been, installed and adjusted for you, you haven't made any mistakes with how it's secured or anything like that, that's a huge load off when what you're already worried about and thinking about is, how do I get enough feedings in, and how many diapers do I have on hand? And if you can take that one thing off people's plates, that is a huge boon, and I'm very glad that you're doing that.
Thank you.
I make them,
Counselor Cruz?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chief, is there some way for residents to apply for this specifically? There's online or paperwork they could submit?
If they need it prior to us being at one of the events throughout the city, with the summer season coming, we're going to be at more and more events. But if they need it specifically, please reach out to Lieutenant Howe in my community engagement unit. It's a simple phone call. His number's listed on our website. And by all means, he's installing car seats for folks. But if someone out there watching this and they have a need for a certified brand-new car seat, please reach out to us. It's on a case-by-case situation.
Thank you, Mr.
I make a motion, we accept.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve 19522. There are no objections. I'll take this on unanimous consent. Seeing none, it passes. 19622, in order that there be and hereby is transferred from within the sum of $12,000 to be transferred from police personal services, civilian dispatchers, and credited to police personal services dispatcher overtime. Chief.
This is one of those last items as we round out the fiscal year. We've been short-staffed all year long in dispatch, and as we were really paying attention to the line item as it related to police officers, dispatchers was equally challenged by staffing issues. And we thought we could make it through the fiscal year, which really prompted taking a hard look at it a couple of weeks ago, and we realized that just the staffing in there at this current time wasn't going to make it. We did estimates what it would take to get us through the next week and a half, and that's what prompted me to request here that we transfer this $12,000 within the current operating budget to maintain a positive balance within that dispatch overtime.
I'll make a motion, we accept.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to accept 19622. If there are no objections, I'll take this on unanimous consent. Seeing none, it passes.
Thank you. Thank you, councilors.
19722, order that there be and hereby is transferred from within the sum of $13,500, same to be transferred from Human Resources Personal Services, Human Resources Generalist, and credited to the following accounts: Human Resources Personal Services, overtime $5,000, Human Resources expenses, temporary personal services $8,500. Director Davis.
So this transfer is a result of our HR generalist that left the department on March 28th and transferred to another city department. And she very graciously, being the dedicated employee that she is still continuing to do some of the tasks that she was doing in her generalist position. And since it was the only person still in the department, we did bring in a temp who's taking care of filing and those kinds of things. So while Stephanie is performing those duties, it is overtime. It's beyond her regular work hours. And then again, the temp services, the expenses are in the amount of $8,500.
When do you plan on having her replacement?
Monday, June 27th.
And the rec for the second position?
That was posted.
That already went out, right?
Within, 3 or 4 days of the council approval. So that will be closing in about a week. And then I'll be hiring for that as quickly as possible.
Will Stephanie be assisting this new person at all, or is she now cut off from?
No, she will be. It will be a little bit of overtime as well, because it mostly is, obviously we're not going to affect her position where she is now, but some of that is mostly the workers' comp piece of that, and just some of those types of things. So she'll continue to train her, but it won't be too long for that.
Councilor Boschman.
My question is, see, with the hiring of the new person and Stephanie leaving and you hired another person, then overtime should be stopped, should be all done, right?
Yep. Again, other than this initial, there still will be a little bit, just as Stephanie continues to, or starts to train the new person. But again, it won't be long, and no, there will not be any overtime.
Well, let me ask you a question. If Stephanie left and she found a job on the outside in the real world, what would you do then? Would it be overtime?
Say the last part, I'm sorry.
If there was no longer Stephanie there and she's working on the outside, how could you give overtime? What you're saying is you don't have, the temp couldn't do the job? Is the temp working full-time?
No, that's a part-time position under 20 hours, and that is not something that is at all within his bandwidth. That was already set up prior to Stephanie leaving. And honestly, thank God she is still here and she didn't leave the city, because there is no way that all of this, departments would have suffered, employees would have suffered. There's no way we would have been able to. We would have gotten it done, because you need to get it done. But fortunately, she is here. She's an extremely dedicated employee and very much a team player. So I don't try to spend a lot of time on things that didn't happen. So
All right.
I think we're pretty lucky.
All right, so I just want to make sure there'll be no more overtime after the third person comes in.
No, there shouldn't be, no.
That's it. I'm all done.
Motion to approve? Second. Motion made and seconded to approve 19722. If there are no objections, I'll take this in unanimous consent. Seeing none, passes.
Thank you, councilors.
Last item, 19822, loan order that the city appropriate the amount of $4,800,000 for the purpose of paying costs of an accelerated repair project at the Arthur M. Longstro Middle School located at 98 Academy Street, Fitchburg, Massachusetts, to replace windows and doors as outlined in the enclosed order. Superintendent Jokel.
Good evening, councilors. Thank you for having me here tonight. As Councilor Di Natale just mentioned, the loan order is for $4.8 million. The MSBA reimbursement on these type of projects is up to 80% of eligible costs. This morning, the MSBA's Board of Directors met and approved their portion of about just under $3.4 million of about $4.9 million project. So that approval was made at the MSBA's June board meeting. This project is to replace all the windows and doors at Longstro Middle School, and the colors will remain the same on the windows, and the work is scheduled to be performed next year. We have an owner's project manager already lined up for the project, and that's basically the summary of the project.
So, did I understand before we had Mr. Shalfa before us that after this, we're shooting for the heating systems next?
That's on the plan, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And with the MSBA, the one thing I should be clear on, and the part that is the library, the windows are not eligible on that wing
Okay.
of the building because
a
that portion
newer-
of the building
Yeah.
didn't meet the age requirements.
Right.
So next time we submit the statement of interest to the MSBA, bless you, we would be applying for the boilers, which I think, again, was an age issue as well. So we're that close.
So how old are these doors and windows? Are they from the original building, or?
Now, they're, they're earlier than mid-'80s, so.
So at least 40 years old?
They're opaque. The old wooden windows are, the police systems are not necessarily that functional. And as we installed new windows at Rheingold Memorial and South Street about a decade ago, just the new technology creates a cooler learning and working environment. So,
We know about I've heard about the circulation issues and the temperature issues there. And I always thought to myself, it's because we have 50-year-old windows there that are wooden, that don't shut proper. I mean, so this is long overdue, and I think a lot of those issues that we have been having addressed to us will be solved by this door and window replacement project. Between the roof, the gutter system, the and now the windows and doors, and hopefully soon the heating system, we're really making major renovations to that facility that we obviously can't do without. But I always want to emphasize how fortunate we are that the state MSBA is approving these for us, because they don't have to. They probably have a litany of projects they can pick from. So to get on this list is very good news for the taxpayers of the city.
It's a very competitive process, and to your point, a lot of districts apply, and every year the MSBA will review the age requirements of projects and sometimes which projects within those categories to adjust the age to make sure that their available funding can meet the projects that communities have applied for.
And just the magnitude of the cost, too. Just to do windows and doors is $5 million.
Correct.
I mean, it's,
Right.
the costs are just astronomical in terms of what these buildings require, so,
And on a positive note, the windows, we had looked into the windows over a decade ago, and the cost back then was around $4 million. So the inflation on the windows, at least,
not
hasn't
so
rivaled,
much, but,
others, so.
okay. Council Boschman.
Question, a few years ago, you came in, we got a pamphlet because you were fighting for a new school, Crocker Elementary School, and you had all the designs in there, how much it would cost for Fitchburg High, the Longo, and it was really a lot of money for all kinds of repairs in there. Do you honestly believe that it's worth it, or are we gonna down the road think about a junior high, a new junior high after, or when we get Crocker Elementary School built?
Well, I think what's before the council tonight is to extend the useful life of the facility. So as the roof was replaced a couple years ago,
Right.
now the windows, these have 20-year lifespans, the way MSBA looks at it. Again, from my knowledge of the city's finances and the frequency with which new schools can be built and financed, these investments before you will help extend this facility's life as the Crocker project comes online in 3 years, February of 2025.
And my final question to you is this. With all the opera fund that you guys got and the city got, are you going to contribute any of that money to help bring down the cost for us from opera?
So there's a lot of MSBA restrictions in terms of when we signed the project funding agreement that we can't use outside grant money. We're still investigating that, but preliminary research has indicated that if the city or the school department decided to use that federal money, then the MSBA would actually decrease their grant funding of the Crocker project. So if we found $3 million of, in our case, it's ESSER funding, they would take their $44 million and subtract $3 million.
Oh, I'd rather not find any then. All right. All right.
Motion to approve? Oh, I'll hold my motion.
Council Van Hazinga?
Just a quick question. What is the expected timing on the project? When will you start?
The work would start summer of next year,
Next year, okay.
actually, yeah.
Will it be done by the start of school, or is it going to continue over a little bit?
I would have to get back to you on that, Counselor. Mr. Shalfo has been working with the OPM, and I'm not sure if they have a project plan, for how many weeks it'll take.
Okay. And what percentage of the Longstro building is utilized with classrooms right now, do you know?
Oh, very high, yeah, very high.
Is it most of the building?
Most of the building is, actually,
Okay.
yeah.
So there's not too much flexibility to move classrooms around while windows are replaced?
No, and in fact, with the redistricting, that'll be happening next year, where Longstreet will become a 6, 7, and 8 versus 5, 6, 7, and 8. We spent a lot of time making sure all the impacted schools in the K through 8 grade range can accommodate, the physical number of classrooms required. So we're okay. We don't have the luxury of having surplus space.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I look forward to being done. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Council Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just one quick question. You said that the lifespan's about 20 years. How do we guarantee that 20 years? Will the builder who comes in and does the work guarantee that 20 years? Or Does the manufacturer guarantee 20 years on the windows and doors?
That, I don't know. I know typically when a roof is installed, the roof will, the manufacturing company, whether it be the, if it's a Firestone roof, it'll give a 20-year, or, if it's fiberglass, I'm just trying to certainty, they'll give a warranty. I'm not sure about the windows. I'll have to get back to you on that.
They don't cover the labor.
I yield the floor. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Motion to approve?
Second?
Well, let's second that one.
Motion made and seconded to approve Order 19822. If there are no objections, I'll take this in unanimous consent. Seeing none, it passes.
Thank you, councilors.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. There are no objections. We are adjourned. Thank you.